All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachak. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. The title of this lesson is actually going to be a response to this video you see here on the screen, done by the priest Atazawam from GMS Dallas, titled "Treat This Work with Some Respect." And I listened to a few minutes of the video, and it prompted me to do a response video. I probably should have listened to the whole video to see if we have any overlapping precepts, but Lord willing, this is edifying. Okay. This lesson is definitely a good one to look into, to get the fire back under brothers that may need it. You know what I'm saying? You can see in the comment, one brother commented, that he needed it right there. But let's go ahead and get straight into the scriptures. Okay. I wanted to start off with 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. All right, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 16. Matter of fact, I'll start at verse 13. It says, we having the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believed and therefore I have spoken. We also believe and therefore speak. So we have to testify of what we claim we believe in, and the testimony is actual verbal, outreach. You know what I mean? That's what the word church comes from, the word ecclesia, which means to reach out. Okay. It says in verse 14, knowing that he which raised up the Lord Yahushai Mashiach shall raise up us also by Yahushai, and shall present us with you. For all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many redound to the glory of the Most High. So what this is going into is Yahushai is the one that essentially is the reason why we have the spirit to be able to prophesy and be able to preach and teach. And so, this, of course, isn't given to everyone, right? But it's given to the elect. And it says, for your sakes, talking about the elect's sake. Okay, those believers who are all Israelites in Yahushai. Okay, and it talks about what? Abundant grace. Okay, and that's exactly what this is, man. Grace and mercy that the Most High has bestowed this knowledge upon us. Now here's the point in verse 16. It says, for which cause we faint not. Okay, let's get that word faint real quick. Get the cross references. It says, for which cause we faint not. Let me go ahead and play the word here.
Strong's G 1573. Ekakeo. Ekakeo. Thayer's Lexicon, second entry. Egg-kakeo. Egg-kakeo.
All right, so we're going to go with egg-kakeo, which it says to be utterly spiritless, to be wearied out or exhausted, and, I'm pretty sure I actually might have went into a word similar to this in a recent lesson, but either way, because it sounds very familiar, but it says to be to be utterly spiritless, to be wearied out or exhausted, because I went to the word lukewarm in Revelation. It has a similar definition. Okay, so we don't want to be we don't want to, let's say, be weak in heart, or to fail in heart, to faint or be weary when it comes to this word, man. We want to be fervent and on fire. Okay. And being spiritless is pretty much being dead, man. What's the point of being exhausted and dead to something that gives us life, to a gift that shows no appreciation? So it says in verse 16 again, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. I just went to my old job or whatever, and one of the managers there, he still works there, you know, it was maybe like 3 years ago now. Actually over 3 years ago, about 3.5 years ago, since I worked there. And, you know, he found out by one way or another that, you know, I go out and preach. And, you know, I hadn't talked to him in a minute, you know, like maybe not quite a year, but definitely over 6 months. And might have been a year, actually, but definitely been a good while. And, you know, he says he sees me out there every Friday, every time he goes downtown. You know, he sees me out there. First, he asked me, "Hey, you still do that thing downtown? You still go downtown?" You know, and I was like, "Yeah, I still go out and preach." You know, he's like, "Yeah, man, I see you every week. You know, every couple of days. I don't know if he goes on Tuesdays as well. You know, and it made me feel good. You know, that to tell him like, hey, yeah, man, I really stand on what I believe in. And it's an Edomite, you know what I mean? You know, it's an Edomite. And, you know, of course, they you know, were made a spectacle, like the scriptures say, you know what I'm saying? And you going out there in the highways and byways, you're going to be seen by people that know you or know of you or have seen you, or you may be acquainted with in the world, or at least once were. Okay. And I didn't even grow up here, man. And I got people, you know, that recognize me. So you're going to get seen, you know what I mean? But it says, for which cause we faint not, because the fear of what people are going to think should be minuscule. Okay, we should be focusing on the reward for holding fast, man. Okay, now, matter of fact, I'll read verse 17. I'll go on to the next precept. It says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So whatever ailments that we may be going through, whatever situations that we're going through financially, you know, emotionally, you know, physically, it classifies it all as a light affliction. Okay. And let's not forget the situation that Paul was in. He was in captivity. He was shipwrecked. You know, he was beaten. He was imprisoned. Okay. And he still prophesied. And then at the end, he was put to death. And he still, you know, spread the word of the Most High, man. He still remained faithful unto death. All right. And that's the like the scriptures say, you know, be ye followers of me as I am also of Yahweh Shai. We're supposed to be walking that, you know, in that path, man, that straight gate. OK, let's jump to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 2. Oops. Yeah. 1 Corinthians chapter 2. You know, because, you know, the priest also mentioned, if I'm not mistaken, in this video, you know, pretty much, you know, it shouldn't be brothers, you know, having to get on you, you know what I'm saying, constantly and consistently, you know, because we're supposed to have, you know, a level of reverence toward this opportunity that we've been given. So precept to that is 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 15. It says, he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. So he that is spiritual judgeth all things. So if you're not able to properly discern, you know, when you need to check yourself, you know, when we need to check ourselves, you know, because I'm, you know, applied to this as well. You know, speaking to myself in this video, of course, as well as, you know, other brothers that may need to hear it. We need to examine ourselves, man. Okay. And so if we're not examining ourselves, that means that we're not being spiritual. Okay. And what's the opposite of spiritual? Carnal. So he that is spiritual judges all things. So consequently, he that is not spiritual doesn't judge. Right. So not in righteousness, you know. And so we got to think about that, man. When we're not judging all things, including ourselves, right? Because it says, yet he himself is judge of no man. That, you know, it's talking about a man that's being spiritual, man. He's not gonna, you know, he's not gonna be judged in a, you know, in a negative way. You know, he's not gonna be judged in a negative way if he's being spiritual, man. Now, does that take away from times that we may be tested? You know, our faith is going to be tested. We all know that our faith is going to be tested. All right. But ultimately judgment, you know, that judgment of matter of fact, let me just go ahead and get the type of judgment, because there's levels of judgment, man. Now, there is situations where where we are tested, where our faith is tested. Okay. But if you check this out right here in Revelation 14:10, it talks about those in the 9th verse, it talks about those that receive the mark, the MOTB. Okay. This is the consequence. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone, and in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. Now, the scriptures talk about in Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th, matter of fact, don't let me do it like that. In Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, might be the 4th chapter, actually. I mean, the 3rd chapter. Yeah, here we go. Wisdom of Solomon, 3rd chapter. Excuse me. Wisdom of Solomon 3:1. It says, but the souls of the righteous are in the hand of the Most High, and there shall no torment touch them. So torment going to come upon the 2/3, okay, and whoever take the mark. But the righteous, the spiritual, they're not going to receive that same torment, man. Okay. And see, it says in verse 2, in verse 3, in the side of the unwise, in the side of the unwise, and the side of the unrighteous, they seem to die, and their departure is taken for misery. So even if we do, perish on this side, and get punished in the sight of men, like I talked about in verse 4, it says what? Yet their hope is full of immortality, in the end of the verse. For though they be punished in the sight of men, yet their hope is full of immortality. So is that really the same judgment, that the 2/3 are going to get, man? Now 2/3 are going to come back, in righteousness, and they're going to be eternal as well. But you have to take into account what position are they going to be in the kingdom, right? And so all these things come into play. Now, getting back, to the point, I kind of got off the topic a little bit there. Going back here, actually, I believe that was a point in what was that? 1 Corinthians 2. I'll read it again in verse 15. It says, but he that is spiritual judgeth all things, yet he himself is judge of no man. Okay, again, going into pretty much how, if you check yourself, man, you're gonna be in the right position to avoid judgment. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be spiritual. You have to be, willing to receive correction. That's part of being spiritual as well, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 5, it says, whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing. You see that? Whoever keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing. And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. Now, what's the two things that all the law can't hang on? Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, by doing what? Love the Most High with all your heart, mind, and soul. Okay. And treat your neighbor as yourself. Okay. Do good by your brother, man. Brotherly love, benevolence, charity, right? And so that pretty much is going to put you in the green with the Most High, because the majority of these people don't fear him. They don't really fear the Most High, because there's only so long you can go without thinking about the Lord. And it should be in every thought, honestly. Matter of fact, scriptures talk about the Most High is not in I believe it's Psalms 10. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's the one. Yep, Psalms 10:4. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. So people, it says they are proud, which blocks them from caring about the Most High, from even thinking about the Most High. Okay. It says his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. That's why these people taking, the Vanessa, thinking that it's doing them good, when they don't realize that it's prepping them to take the MOTB, which is going to lead to their destruction and their demise, man. And there's nothing we can do, to stop somebody from taking that, outside of telling them, hey, look, the Lord's not with that. If they take it, ultimately, that's their ass, man. Okay. It says, as for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. Okay. And so, hey man, especially Esau, man, they got that proud demon on them, man, thinking that they can be, taken down. And then you got Eve, thinking that, she gonna be good because she's on Esau's side, man. And you got simple ass Israelite men, 2/3 Israelite men following after them. That's why they get looked at as the lowest on the totem pole, because they following the follower, the woman, But anyway, I digress. I'm gonna finish it off here in First Corinthians, back in 1 Corinthians, New Testament, 1 Corinthians 11, and let's see here, 1 Corinthians 11 and 27. I'll start at 27. This is 1 Corinthians 11 and 27. Wherefore, whosoever shall eat this bread and drink this cup of the Lord unworthily shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord. So what does it mean to eat and drink this cup unworthily? Let's go ahead and get the word unworthily in the Greek. Go ahead and play it real quick.
Strong's G 371. Anaxios. Anaxios.
All right, anaxios. In an unworthy manner. I like how these words that I'm getting, they're not very frequent in the scriptures, which means it's very descriptive, which is good for edification. As a matter of fact, you know what? I might actually need to go let's get the root word in this one here. Unworthy for a thing. Waiting. Both in a good and bad sense. That's an interesting word here. Unfit, unworthy. Okay, so let's just go back to the main one here. Anaxios. It says in an unworthy manner. Okay. In an unworthy manner. That's the gist of it. Okay, so he that whosoever shall eat this bread and drink of this cup in an unworthy manner, right? Meaning that you don't take any type of reverence. You don't take any type of respect for the sacrifice that Yahushua made through your actions. It says they shall be guilty of the body and blood of the Lord, meaning that you pretty much like those that said, let his blood be upon us. When they crucify Yahushua, those wicked scribes and Pharisees said, look, let his blood be upon us. And they threw for that, man. They're going to be judged harshly for that. Okay, those individuals that said that, because those spirits are back on the earth today. It says, but let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. So part of, this is going into counting the cost before you start. But you examine yourself again by essentially, looking and seeing, okay, look, am I really going to take this truth seriously? Am I really in the space to, to actually act upon, what I believe in or what I claim to believe in? Am I willing to stand firm to the end? These are all questions that we have to answer within ourselves as an individual, having a personal relationship with Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, to even be able to come up with answers to these types of questions. It says, verse 29, for he that eateth and drinketh in an unworthy manner, unworthily, eateth and drinketh damnation, condemnation. You're going to be condemned, okay, to destruction. It says he eateth and drinketh damnation to himself, not discerning the Lord's body. Okay, because you're going to end up offending one of the Lord's little ones. Okay, and ultimately, putting yourself in a worse position than that you were before you came into the faith, man. All right. Verse 30. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. So the Lord will put people to death. The Lord will put infirmities on individuals, they claim to, be in the truth. You know what I'm saying? They claim to be, in this thing of ours, they claim to be, an Israelite and wanting, salvation. You have individuals that call even on the Lord's name, and they're not right, man. They're leading the sheep astray. Okay, they're misleading the flock, and so we got to be diligent to know the state of our flock, and as shepherds of Yahushai, that requires us to be attentive to what's going on in Israel, and also to continue to look after the flock by edifying them and leading them in the right direction. Okay. Verse 31, and here's the point. It says, for if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. So going back to this verse, this lesson, that the priest I tells while I'm done, treat this work with some respect. Amen. If you treat the work with some respect and you judge yourself, matter of fact, I'll get the word judge. You examine yourself. Diacrino, Strong's G 1252. To make distinction. Matter of fact, okay, yeah. Now this was a good one. Separate yourself. I have gone into this word recently, but I want to get it in this verse specifically. 11 and 31. It says to learn by discrimination, to try to decide. Right. So it says to learn by discrimination. Let's go back here. So it says, for if we would judge ourselves or discriminate pretty much ourselves, what's the word, the specific word I'm looking for? Criticize, if we criticize ourselves, okay, and we learn from that criticism that we give ourselves, hey, man, you got to have a pep talk with yourself, man. You talk to yourself, man. You got to love yourself before you can love anybody else. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else, man. And we do this because we love ourselves, man. So, there's a certain sense of, self-preservation when it comes to this thing, man. We don't want to get destroyed. We want to make it, man. Okay. So we have to criticize ourselves and discriminate, essentially, according to the definition, discriminate ourselves if we not being on par with what the Spirit, has going on, man. Now if we on point, then there's no need for that criticism. Now we always examine, right? But we got to be able to detect before it is detected. Okay, because if it's detected and it goes unchecked long enough, the Lord's going to deal with it, man. That's the last thing we want, is for the Lord to judge us, man. So, I'm going to read verse 32 and I'm going to close out. It says, but when we are judged, we are chastened of the Lord, that we should not be condemned with the world. So when we're judged, we get chastened. So a brother may rebuke you. A brother may, tell you that you're going off. He may exhort, but it's to the end that we don't get judged with the world, man. That we don't get destroyed, man. Because the world, talking about the people that dwell within this world are not going to make it into the kingdom, man. They're not. Only the elect are going to be preserved, man. Because ain't nobody listening to this video rich enough to buy an underground bunker which, you know, that ain't making it either. Because guess what? In the kingdom, you're going to be a slave, you know, unless you're an Israelite, you know, and good luck being able to afford a bunker, man. Okay. And then let alone being able to make it. Because if the Lord wants you to be put to not make it, you ain't going to make it, man. Simple as that. You know, ain't no other way around. Ain't no back door to this, to salvation, man. Okay. Got to enter in at the straight gate. So that's the point. You know, Lord willing, this was edifying. Again, you know, your concept with this lesson. So I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai, B'Shem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.